Shabbat Shalom, everybody, and welcome to this really special Shabbat service featuring the Bar Mitzvah of West Shatzman. You got to just see a wonderful montage. West, those were awesome pictures. And I know that I saw a few of Hawaii, which made me dreaming of beaches. But it's a beautiful, sunshiny day in St. Louis, and I hope it's beautiful wherever you are. And even if the weather's not, Shabbat makes it a sweet day no matter what, especially when we get to celebrate the Shabbat Shalom. Again, West.
Yeah, crap Wi-Fi.
What's that, buddy?
It's really bad Wi-Fi. Really.
Well, we persevere. It's all good because we are here together. So Shabbat Shalom again, Wes. I was just welcoming everybody. I want to welcome especially everyone who's watching from wherever you are. Bruchim Habaim. It's a blessing that you've joined us. But I want to welcome the people in your house, West, who are there with you. Your mom and your dad and your sister Mira and all four of your grandparents. What a blessing that Nana Sue and Papa Mike and Nana Trish and Grandpa Jerry are all there with you. They're your home congregation. We're your all around the world congregation. But I know that they're going to fill you with inspiration and just to look and see them smiling at you as you lead this service and become a bar mitzvah, I know is going to mean the world to you and to us. And so I don't think Tova and Kona are there, are they?
No.
They got sent away. So they'll be back for the celebration, I'm sure. But I wanted to make sure that they weren't there because I'd want to welcome them too. I got to know them these last few weeks as I was coming to deliver Torahs and things to your home. So Wes, I want to bring up, because of the Torah portion that we're going back to, the Torah portion of a couple of weeks ago. We had a little delay, but that's kind of indicative of these times. Everything seems to be delayed, but here we are. But I want to say that, I've known you for a long time, Wes. We've known each other for a long time. Doesn't it feel like that?
Yes.
Yeah. And so along the way, I started calling you a little bit of a different name from West. I started calling you Western Skies from a song that I love. And then it became just Western. And the reason I bring it up, besides the fact that I might slip every once in a while and just call you Western as we go through this service, but I know your name is West, is that your Torah portion includes the idea that we have more than one name in our life, right? Because Jacob, in this story, as you're going to teach us, gets a new name, a sacred name, Yisrael. Just like one of the names you'll be called in this service, besides West and maybe Western, is Avishai, an amazing Hebrew name that you were given when you entered this world. And Avishai means gift, right? Gift from your father. It's a literally gift from God, gift to your family. And that's what you truly are, West. You're a gift, and you're giving us a gift by leading us in this service and chanting Torah and giving us a teaching that will help inspire us as 2020 counts down and we anticipate a new year. So a little bit more light, even though Hanukkah is over, courtesy of West, of Avishai. I want to let everybody know that you can follow along with the service a couple of ways. One is that most of the prayers will have an overlay on the screen so that as West leads the prayers, you can follow him along. But also, West and his family worked really hard to create a siddur, a prayer book that is filled with some pictures and some extra readings. And you can go to centralreformcongregation.org and go to live stream and click on West Shatzman's siddur. And you can get a download or print or whatever you want to do, a copy of the siddur that has a wonderful photo that West picked on the cover that depicts, you told me, the journey, right? And so welcome, West, to your bar mitzvah journey, or to this really crucial part of your bar mitzvah journey that which really started many, 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 many months ago. And here we are, your bar mitzvah. So it's an honor. First of all, we're going to hear a video of a morning prayer that sort of says it all. This prayer of gratitude for this day, for this Shabbat day, for this day that West, you become bar mitzvah. West, as you lead this service and become bar mitzvah, we want you to feel the arms of our tradition, the Jewish traditions, wrapped around you. And one of the ways we do that, especially with someone who is the prayer leader, is to have you wear a talit with its ritual fringes that remind you, supposed to remind you of all the mitzvahs that we do, the good deeds and the sacred deeds that we do in the course of our lives. And so it's an honor. I think your dad is gonna, and your mom have the talit that they will wrap you in, and just stay right up there, Matt and Natalie, and just take a minute, West. You look great in that talit, and I'm gonna have you say the blessing for wearing this talis.
Rech Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher k'ishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu v'ya'atef b'tzit tzit.
We say amen. And so, West, the next songs are all about how good are the holy moments in our lives. And West, this is a holy moment, you know. And so was the other day when it was your 13th birthday. And I know so many other times in your life that just feel like they are exceptional and special. And so in those moments, like this moment, we are moved to say with our tradition, Ma Tovu, how good when our lives are filled with holiness.
אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לה 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 לה, הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לה 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 לה, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Alright, please chant together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tzalmo. Blessed are you, the eternal our God, who has created me in your image. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani ben chorim. Blessed are you, the eternal our God, who has made me free. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael. Blessed are you, the eternal our God, who has made me Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim. Blessed are you, the eternal our God, who opened the eyes of the blind. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish harumim. Blessed are you, the eternal our God, who provides the clothes for the needy. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten li'af koach. Blessed are you, the eternal our God, who gives the strength to the weak. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher hechin mitzadei gaver. Blessed are you, the eternal our God, who guides the steps of human beings.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. If you're following along, we are on page 5 as Wes continues to lead us with the Chatzi Kaddish.
Yikadal v'yikadah shemei rabbah ba'amad evrach yiruteh v'yamlich machuteh v'yachechonu v'yamechonu v'chayerecho v'yisrael ba'agala uvizman karif v'imru amen Yehei shemei rabbah mavarach Le'olam me'amaya Yitbarach Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, v'yitale, v'yitala, shemei dekudsha b'rechu, ele mincho b'chirata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amin b'yama, v'imru amen.
Wes, we have this beautiful quote you picked out. So as Rabbi Randy mentioned, as we make our way through the rest of the service, you get to hear some special quotes that West has picked out. So why don't you read us the quote from Oprah?
The more you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is in life to celebrate. Please rise as we call each other to prayer with the Baruch.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam
va'ed. It is during our darkest moment that we must focus to see the light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yotzer or uvrei chosech oseh shalom uvrei et hakol amer la'aretz v'ladarim ha'eleh rachamim uvtuvo mechadesh bechol yom tomid ma'asiyah breshit marabu ma'asecha Adonai kulam bechol ma'asita Mala ha'eretz, kinyencha titbarach Adonai Eloheinu, al shevat ma'asiya yedecha, val moreh or she'asita yefaruch Selah, Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer ha'orot. Together, in some special way, every person completes the universe. If I do not play my part, I injure the pattern of all existence. The same stream of life that runs through my veins night and day runs through the world and dances in rhythmic measures. It is the same life that shoots in joy through the dust of the earth and in numberless blades of grass, and breaks into tumultuous waves of leaves and flowers. It is the same life that is rocked in the ocean, cradled of birth and death, and ebb and flow. I feel my limbs are made glorious by the touch of this world of life, and pride from the life throb of ages dancing in my blood this moment. All you need is love, and love is all you need. When we spread the light around while saying the Shema, our oneness of light goes into the dark, grabbing their hand and pulling them into the light. Please join me in chanting the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Please be seated.
So I'm going to jump in for a minute. For those following along at home, we are on page 10 with the Ve'ahavta, which is all about values, living our values at every moment of every day. And Wes, I know this is something that you do, and I'm so grateful to have had time to get to know you and get to know your family, spending time with your mom who's on the board and your sister who's also in Wednesday school. And I know values are important, and I know living your values is important, and I know it's important to you, and it's part of the reason you're here celebrating becoming a bar mitzvah today. So we are on page 10 with the Ve'ahavta.
ואתה אדוני אלוהיך בכל אהבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושננתם לבניך, ודברת בם בשבתך בדברך ובלכתך בדרך ושבחך ופומך וזכרתם עלות ילדיך, והיו לטפטפות בעיניך ושכבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם כל מצוותי ויהייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Together, you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and your might. Take to heart these words which I command you this day. Teach them vigilantly to your children. Speak them when you are at home and when you are away, and when you lie down and when you arise. Bind them as a sand on your hand, and let them serve as symbols between your eyes. Inscribe them on your doorposts of your house and on your gates. Remember to do my commandments and be holy to your God. I am your God who led you out of Egypt. To be your God, I am your God. When you reach the end of your rope, tie a knot on it and hang on.
So we join together in the words of the Micha Mocha, our song of freedom.
דרך אלוהיך יהודה בישראל גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו קדוש ישראל ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל Hamba cooking yen cuencos, Sia 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 hamba, Sia hamba, Sia hamba cooking yen cuencos, Sia hamba, Sia hamba, Sia hamba. We are marching in the light of God. 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 We are marching, we are marching, we are marching. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching, we are marching, we are marching. We are marching in the light of God. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neder b'kodesh. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neder b'kodesh.
We are at the top of page 13 as we arrive at Tefillah, our time for prayer. So, Wes, why don't you tell everyone too?
Please rise.
Good job. And then why don't you share this great quote you've pulled out?
It was the kind of moon that I would want to send back to my ancestors and give to my descendants so they knew that I too have been bruised by beauty. Tefillah. Adonai sikatifach ufila ginotinotecha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Eloheinu Avinoteinu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol v'Hagibor v'Hanerav, El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim, B'chonei Hakol, V'tzocher Chesed Avot V'imachot, Umavi Gula, Livnech V'nechem, Lamancho Bahava, Melech Ozer, Umoshe Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah. Together. Holy One of blessing, you are our God, God of our fathers and mothers, God of Abraham and Sarah, God of Isaac and Rebekah, God of Jacob, Leah, and Rachel. The great God, the mighty God, the awesome God, the supreme God, who responds with acts of loving kindness and possesses everything, and who, remembering the love of righteous deeds of our parents, brings redemption to the children of their children. Sovereign, helper, savior, protector, Holy One of blessing, shield of Abraham and Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye Hakol, Atah Riv Lo Shia, Mechaye Hechim B'Chesed, Mechaye Hakol Ben Rachamim Rabim, Somech Nofim V'Chorei Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umkayim Emunato Lishnei Afar. Michamocha ba'al gevurot, umidom elach, melech memid, umchaye, umatmiach Yeshua, v'nei yemen atah lechayot hachor, Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol.
That was perfect, Wes. And we have another quote at the bottom of page 15.
You don't realize how far you away. You don't realize how far away you are until there's someone you want to be near.
That's so true. And so we recognize that with these sparks of holiness that are in the Kedusha, which is on page 16.
נקדש שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמם, ככתוב היה נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ויאמר, קדוש קדוש קדוש, אדוני צבאות, מלוך הארץ, כבודו אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו באדיר, שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני צבאות. אחד אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישביענו, ורחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גדלך, ונצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We are in the middle of page 17, and what should we tell everyone, West?
Please be seated. One day we will all wake up and realize we may not be perfect, but realize the beauty in everyone.
That's so true. That's so true. This beauty that everyone has, and we celebrate that and the beauty of Shabbat with the words of Vishamru.
שמעו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ובן בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ושמעו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם. ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמעו בני ישראל את השבת,
Wes, why don't you share these beautiful quotes with us at the bottom of page 18?
At times our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has a cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lightened the flame within us. Every breath we take, every step we make can be filled with peace, joy, and serenity.
You're so right. You are so right, Wes. Peace, joy, and serenity. And so we end tefillah with the prayer for peace. There is a beautiful silent meditation provided by Wes that follows if you want to look over that. Or you can look back through the Siddur at any of the quotes Wes has picked out or his words himself. So we take a moment for a prayer of peace.
Say shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Oh, say shalom bimromah. Say shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oh, say shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oh, say shalom, shalom bimromam. Shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen.
God.
Hi there, Wes. It's time now for the Torah service for you to actually become a bar mitzvah as you receive the Torah. But before you read to us and teach us from your lesson, I'd like to invite your grandparents to come forward with your parents so that you can literally receive the Torah into your arms. So what a lucky young man you are to have all four grandparents be able to be with you today, from right here in St. Louis and all the way from Kansas City. What a blessing that all four could be with us. So if we could get everybody into the screen there, that would be great. We can see all four grandparents come here, and we'll ask them to hold the Torah in the beginning of that line. Maybe if your grandfather can take that Torah and hold on to it just for a moment. I asked your mom, in addition to your grandparents and your parents, West, who who you would want to be in the chain of tradition. I asked her what your passions are, and she immediately said, oh, West he loves to be outside. He's an outside guy. He loves to be physical, and he's had skates on from the time that he was born. You know, he was a little guy, and he put those skates on, and he was comfortable on the ice. And I know you love hockey, and I half expected her to say that there were going to be hockey stars in this line of tradition with you, but she didn't say that at all. She said, if West would include anyone else in this line of tradition, it would be his 4 older cousins. So I want to name them. I thought that was so tender and so beautiful. Even though, you know, your cousins live far away, 2 of them in Barcelona, somehow you guys have managed to stay close. And that they are role models for you, I think, is also important. So in this chain of tradition, in addition to the wonderful generations that you have standing right with you, I'd like to include your cousins, Jessica and Caitlin, and Braden and Sienna. And the only other thing I want to mention is I heard that you found your blessing box. You know, that someone hidden in your room was your blessing box, and that you found it, and your mom found you reading those blessings. And I have to say, when we made that ritual up, we actually made it up many years ago. I think people think it's a Jewish tradition now, and I hope they do. That's how rituals get to be made. But we hoped for exactly what happened with you, that when our baby, and I was there at your baby naming. I remember it like it was a minute ago, standing there in the multi-purpose room, naming you with the congregation at our family service, and people wrote blessings to you, people that you didn't even know. And what we hoped for was that we would close up that box, and that one day when you needed it the most, as you were entering these years of adolescence, and who knew what a challenge this year of your 13th birthday would bring, right? That you would remember, and that you would know deep in your soul how very loved and appreciated you are. So I hope as you continue to read those blessings, I hope as you look at that beautiful chain of tradition that is standing there ready to hand you this Torah, that you feel the Torah of your mother's people, that you feel the Torah of your father's people, and that you feel the love of the community that has given you blessings to hold on to as you continue to grow. So I'll ask your grandfather to give that Torah to your grandmother, to your grandfather, feeling the love that is coming to you through the generations, to your grandmother, to your father, your mother, and into your arms, West, as you lead us in the words of the Shema. Shema.
Oh,
Yisrael,
yeah.
Adonai,
Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai, Echad, Eloheinu, Gadol, Adonenu, Hado, Shemo.
Beautiful. And now I'm going to hand this over, I think, to Rabbi Randy, who will continue with the Torah service. Mazal Tov, and as your cousins in Spain might say, Mazel Bueno.
So, Wes, let's get your sister up there to help you undress the Torah. Let's get Mira up there. So while you're getting the Torah ready, I'll just mention, I know you work so hard to be ready for today, and it's not easy. Learning a new language and then learning to read out of the Torah and read that language without vowels. So I know you've put in so much time and effort into today, and we're so excited for you and to hear you read from Torah. So I'm going to ask your dad to have a seat, and we are going to invite up your Papa Mike. So go on and find your spot, Wes. Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay, so you're ready to go. So what's going to happen is your Papa Mike is going to chant the blessing before, and then you're going to read from the Torah, and then he's going to chant the blessing after, okay? So whenever you're ready, Papa Mike.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam V'Oed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher barcha banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et harto. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Vayishlach Yaakov melachim lefanav el Esav achiv ad Seir Sidei Edom. Vayitzav otam lemor kol k'madun l'Adoni lemor Vayitzav ko amar avdecha Yaakov vim Lavan garti vayachar ad ata. Vayihili shor v'chamor tzon ve'eved v'shivcha vayeshlacha lahagi l'Adoni nimtzochen be'einecha.
Let's get Papa Mike back up there to do the blessing after.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam b'teinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
And we say amen, and if you want to have a seat or maybe give a little fist bump or whatever you're comfortable doing. For our second aliyah, we get to invite up your parents, Matt and Natalie, to be up there as you so perfectly read your first part of your Torah portion. I know you'll continue with your second. So, Ya'amdu Matijahu Varina Le Aliyah Sheni. Whenever you're ready. Blessing before.
Baruch Adonai HaBarak. Baruch Adonai HaBarak Le'olam Vayed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam,
asher
Bachar banu mikol ha'amim, natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Vayashuvu hamalachim el Yaakov le'emor, banu el achicha el Esav v'gam cholei. I'm just gonna restart that real quick. Oh wait, no, v'gam cholei likracha v'arba me'oti shimo. Vayira Yaakov Ma'od vayitzer lo vayachatz et ha'am asher ito ve'et hatzon ve'et habachar v'hagemalim lishnei machanot vayomer im yavo Esav el hamachane ha'achat v'hikahu v'haya hamachane ha'yishar lifleta.
Wes, that was perfect. Let's get your parents back up there to say the blessing after.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natav b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
So why don't you stay up there? Oh, Natalie and Matt, why don't you stay up there so we can invite Wes up as a bar mitzvah, the first time he is called to the Torah by his Hebrew name. So we say, Ya'amud Avishai ben Matijahu Varina La Aliyah Bar Mitzvah. So whenever you're ready, Wes, I should have told everyone that we are on page 21. You can chant the blessing before and then go into your third aliyah.
Baruch Hu Adonai Havarach, Baruch Adonai Havarach Leolam Vaed, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher Bachar Banu Michol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato, Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. Vayomer Yaakov Elohei Avi Abraham Velohei Avi Yitzchak Adonai Haomer Elai Tshuva Atzlacha Ulamolatecha Ve'eti Va'imach Chatonti Mikol HaChasadim Umikol HaEmet Asher Asita Et Abdecha Ki V'machli Avarti Et Yarden Hazeh V'yata Hayiti Lishne Machanot Hatzileni Na Miyad Achi Miyad Esav Ki Yarei Anochi Oto Pen Yavo V'chikani Ein Albani Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Natan Lanu Torat Emet V'chayei Olam Nata B'tochenu Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Wes, that was beautiful. Why don't you get some love from your parents? If you want to, they're just beaming behind you. I don't know if you can see, but they're big smiles. And they can go on and have a seat. And before we continue with adding your voice to our tradition, we pause for a blessing of healing. Anyone who needs some healing, mental, spiritual, physical, emotional. We know there are so many people in our world right now who could use some extra blessing. So if you're following along, we are on page 22.
Mishaberach Avoteinu Mekor Habracha Neimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach Imotenu Mekor Habracha Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
So West, we are going to invite your sister back up to help you dress the Torah. Have you done that? I can't really see. You got your binder?
I just put it down.
Good
Yeah,
job. It's just sitting there? Okay, so let's get Mira back up and we'll dress the Torah. Just take a moment to put it away. And I see you got your binder up there. So that's perfect. You are ready. So part of your Bar Mitzvah is speaking about the Torah portion you just read. And so we invite you now to add your words and your voice to our long line of tradition.
The Torah portion that I just chanted from contains chapters in the story of Jacob and Esau. They are brothers, actually twins. One day they split off in two different directions and haven't seen each other since. Jacob knew he needed to return home at some point. He missed his brother but was also scared to come home, because when they were younger they had several serious conflicts. But now Jacob wants to meet up with him and sends food and materials to his brother. After After a few days, Jacob decided to go and see him along a several-day journey. He had a dream one night with an angel. Jacob and this angel wrestled all night, but Jacob came out victorious and won the name Israel, the God wrestler. To me, the dream was very calm and surreal, like it was happening in heaven with flowers everywhere, but at the same time it was a little bit threatening because there was a thunderstorm happening in the background. When the angel went for the first punch, Jacob hit the punch down but got hit in the thigh. The fight went on, but Jacob questioned himself as to how he was wrestling, why he was wrestling, or maybe how he was wrestling. Finally, the fight was done. Jacob won and went on his way to have a successful reunion with his brother. They actually hug out all their problems. In one rabbi's commentary, it was that scene on the side of Jabbok River that Jacob needed to confront his personal conflicts and fears alone. It is there in his dream he encounters a mysterious man or angel. The Hebrew word is Ish, with whom he wrestles until daybreak. I think this commentary is saying the Ish isn't actually real, and the real point is that we often have to face our conflicts by ourselves and fight our inner battles alone. I guess what I'm saying is while there are many ideas about who Jacob was dreaming about, maybe his wrestling opponent was himself, as if Jacob needed himself to save himself. I believe this fight is like having a mental battle for yourself, struggling over what is right and what you should have done. Like the famous quote, when having a chance to choose from what's right, and what's kind, choose kind. Sometimes in a conflict with another person, we have to wrestle with either being right or being kind. This quote really shows that there can be two directions in any outcome in a mental battle. When we have inner battles, it often comes from the form of second-guessing ourselves. It's important to think your ideas fully out. I've done it and you've done it. It's like making everyday choices. For example, deciding which road to cross or rather to ride down an easy or more difficult ramp at a skate park. The second-guessing, wrestling yourself is actually positive in my opinion because it means you're living the way that is fully human. For example, can an animal second-guess or think things through? No. We have the power to do so if you don't use your brain the way it was built later in life, you'll be the one second-guessing why you didn't use your one life to use the power of a human brain. Second-guessing happens to me like whether I do my chores, I'll wait until later, and if I should do the harder chores first to get them out of the way, or do the easier ones. I also second-guess myself about the best time to wake up in the morning for school. My mom and dad also engage in second-guessing. When we first got our dog Kona, he was a crazy wreck, chewing through everything in sight. My parents wondered if they chose the wrong puppy from the litter. Now we all love Kona and are really glad we went through those early struggles. The most important second-guessing wrestling I've ever done so far was about to do this bar mitzvah. When the virus hit, December 5th seemed a long way off. But I thought COVID would be a lot better soon, and I could become a bar mitzvah in person at the synagogue. But as it went on, I realized that wasn't going to happen. My parents and grandparents began to talk about the decision to either move to another date in 2021 or to have my bar mitzvah online. They asked me for my thoughts. Thinking about it was not easy, but it wasn't overly stressful either. I had one way of thinking about it, and that was being in front of my whole community. I received advice from many people and started to change my own mind. I started to think that maybe this was a lessen the pressure of being in front of a ton of people, and it might help me really focus on the work I needed to put in to chant from the Torah and write this commentary. I went back and forth a bit, but I ended up obviously choosing to be online. I really think it was a blessing in disguise, not my final decision, which I'm happy about, but the whole process. It's a part of what becoming a bar mitzvah is all about, starting to make your own decisions in a responsible way. While it is true that you often need to be alone and work out your challenges, we still need one another. In my portion, when Jacob finally said to his brother Isaac, "Help me," this applies to all of us. We should take this part of the story with us. We are like these siblings, and in life, siblings need one another and can become one. Jacob's wrestling with himself was all about reminding himself that in order to save himself, he needs his brother most of all. Some commentators even say the mysterious Ish was Isaac's guardian angel, or maybe it was Jacob imagining he was wrestling with Isaac, so he could get it all out of his system and be ready to be at peace when he encountered the real Isaac the day after the dream. The ancient story of Jacob and Esau has so many lessons for us today. We are like these brothers. We struggle, we second guess ourselves, and we need each other and can become like one. Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
That
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Hey, West, can you see me?
I can see you.
I'm going to read a piece I wrote for you. I want you to listen real carefully, okay? This is called Teaching Arcane Subject. You know what arcane means? Arcane means like mysterious. Teaching arcane subjects to willing students, or no problem, for West Shatzman. Week 1. Hey, West, how you doing? I'm good. You? Okay, what's going on? What follows is a complete description of daily life in a quiet suburb of a large Midwestern city. Good. Ready to learn some Hebrew? Yeah, okay, sure. Ready to get into the portion? Yeah. Great to do. Do this for next week. Okay, bye. Week 2. Hey, West, how's it going? Great. How's school? What follows is a complete description of school life for an adolescent male during the time of COVID, including a description of what can be walked to in his neighborhood, then what can be ridden to on a bicycle in a quiet suburb of a large city on the gateway to the west, pardon the pun. Good. Now for next week, West, practice. Okay, I will, no problem. Week 3. Hey, West, what's happening? What follows is a description of daily life as the COVID begins to influence all our lives, but still maintaining a sense of goodness and positive feeling. Okay, ready to practice some Hebrew? Sure, let's go. Okay, see you next week. No problem. Bye. Week 4. Hey, West, how's it going? Good, the same, but okay. You with me, West? Good attitude. What the heck? Sounds good. West, practice for next week? Sure, no problem. Week 5. Hey, West, how's it going? Good. What follows is an enthusiastic presence, good-natured, and easy to work with approach to learning. Good work, West. You have a good attitude. You know that? Yeah, I know that. You're confident. Yeah, pretty confident. You don't let the small stuff throw you too much, do you? I'm okay. Let's learn some Hebrew. Oh yeah, some Hebrew, no problem. So don't forget to practice. Okay, bye. Week 6. Hey, West, you're always on time, West. You know that? I appreciate that. Good, yeah, I guess I am. No problem. Except the last time, I forgot. Oh yeah, well, that happens. I appreciate your eagerness. You know who had that quality? No, who? Abraham, Jacob's grandfather, who we're reading about in the Torah, and everyone admires him for it. You know why? No. Why? Because everybody wanted it. Everybody wanted that kind of eagerness. It's called zirizut, good word, showing up for life. It will take you a long way. You know what I mean? Yeah. Thanks. You know what I mean? I think I do. Good. Then our work is done. Remember this. What a fine quality showing up this way is. That it's not common. That it will carry you through a lot of the encounters of your life. Our work is done. Okay, no problem. Gotcha. Okay, goodbye, Wes. Bye. Oh, congratulations on your bar mitzvah and for being a fine person. Your teacher, me.
Thanks.
Rabbi Randy, I think you are muted.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss hearing people tell me that in the future. You are mute. But now you can hear me, right, Western? So Rabbi Jim is 100% correct in his own way. He said what we all feel. You're a great guy, West, and we're so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You wrote some phrases in your Devar Torah that every time we met just took me by delight, surprise. I loved when you came up with that they hugged out all their problems. So just like you would say it, they hugged it all out. And this notion that at the same time we wrestle with ourselves, we need each other. I love the two parts of that teaching because they're both true, right? So and you did some wrestling, West, even before you started the bar mitzvah journey. There was some wrestling that you had to do with yourself. You didn't even know the story fully from your portion, but you lived through it. And you, just like Jacob, my friend, you've come through the other side in such an incredible way, and you became a bar mitzvah 1,000% authentic. Even though I'm at my house and you're at yours and everyone's at theirs, this is bar mitzvah. You led the prayers, you chanted from Torah, and you gave us an incredible commentary. And West, in hockey, I believe that's called a hat trick, right? That's my hockey. That's my you did a hat trick, right? Prayers and Torah and commentary. So that's pretty amazing. And so I want to give you a quick blessing because I know you've been hearing this blessing for a long time. When you were a little guy at family services and at holidays and special times. And this is a very special time because you became bar mitzvah. You're growing up in front of our very eyes. And so that is a blessing for you. And as hard as it is for us to believe, to watch you grow up, it's a blessing for all of us as well. And so for you, my friend, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Amen. Which means blessed is the Holy One whose presence fills creation, whose presence is all over your house and your being right now. That presence that gave you your life and that kept you alive and that enabled you to reach Lazman Hazeh, this sacred moment of becoming bar mitzvah in our tradition. And so amen and mazel tov. And West, I hope you know how much your congregation, even though we can't be together in person yet, your congregation appreciates you. And so many people are watching your bar mitzvah who you don't even know, but they're part of the CRC family. And I know they're beaming along with all of your friends and family that are watching and your rabbis. And so on behalf of the whole congregation, a member of our board of directors, who's also the past president of our board of directors, and I know a family friend, Scott Levine, has recorded a special message with a presentation of gifts from CRC to you.
Hey, Wes. So this is a pre-recorded message. So all I can do is speculate that you've been absolutely amazing this morning and that your Devar Torah has literally brought everyone to tears. But while I'm recording this message, I am watching the services live today. So I'm here on behalf of the board of directors. My name is Scott Levine, and I have the pleasure of serving with your mom for a number of years now on this board, and I've watched your mom with awe and envy as she's continued to flourish as a leader in our community, and really look forward to being a passenger on her leadership journey as others have been on mine. And so on behalf of the board, we're presenting you with two gifts today. First is a certificate that says that you become a bar mitzvah and that 2 trees have been planted in your honor in Israel. One tree will be planted in a majority Jewish neighborhood and the other in a largely Arab neighborhood. It's our hope that the 2 trees will grow together in a land filled with justice and peace, and that you will one day visit the Holy Land and see the physical and spiritual fruits of all that has been planted. Second is a tzedakah jar. One of the unique aspects of CRC, our shared spiritual home and community, is its commitment to Tikkun Olam, repair of the world. Growing up in a CRC family means that you've always been reminded that repairing the world requires innovation, sacrifice, and commitment. And as a community, we can do that together. So knowing your family and our shared values, you won't need too many reminders to make your mark in this area, but let this gift from our community be one of them. Mazel Tov, West. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Thanks, Scott, and I hope you enjoyed those gifts and keep that certificate wherever you go. And I know, Wes, that you will keep on doing mitzvahs, which we're doing in our 7th grade class. Even though we've got this quarantine and pandemic, we still have been able to do a lot of mitzvahs, even a few of them safely in small groups in person. And I know that will be part of your way of life. And so we are kind of drawing towards the conclusion of your Bar Mitzvah service, Wes, but we have still some prayers and some blessings before we conclude and before you celebrate. One of those prayers is called Aleinu. And Aleinu basically says that everything we've shared this morning on Shabbat should, we hope, be part of what Scott mentioned, Tikkun Olam, of making the world a better place. Our prayers and your teaching and the feelings we've had by being connected over time and space, all of that reminds us of our obligations to try to make more moments as holy as these. And so I'm going to chant the Aleinu on page 26. And everyone at home, you're more than welcome to chant along. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gidola liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoye haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gohor aleinu kichol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech Malchei Hamlachim Hakadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu Notei Shemayim, V'Yosed Haaretz, U'Moshav Yikaro B'Shamayim Mima'al, U'Shchinat Uzo, V'Govhei Meromim, Hu Eloheinu Ein Od, Emet Malkeinu Efes Zulato, Kakatuv B'Torato, V'yadat ha'yom v'hashevota el levavecha ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim b'shamayim mimal ve'al haaretz mitachat ein od v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz b'yom hahu yeh Adonai echad Ushemo echad. Amen. And now, West, as you know, because you've attended many services growing up at CRC, this is a time that we're going to remember loved ones who have passed away. And at a Bar Mitzvah service, a B'nai Mitzvah service, we want to make sure that you and your family are able to say names of people that you're remembering during this moment of Kaddish. So we're on page 27 if you're following along, and West has some special remembrances.
Today we remember those that have came before us, our family members and close friends, those who have forged paths and influenced who we've become today. We're grateful for our memories and physical reminders that they remain a part of our lives and look upon our family as angels. Wilma West Riley, my great-great-grandmother, for whom my name came to me 13 years ago. My mom's family, Grandma Rita, Jack Hammond, Grandma Elaine, and Howard Spencer, my cousin whom I've never met, Camden Spencer. My dad's family, my great-grandparents Evelyn and Irvin Shatzman, Patricia and Raymond Holtman. And all of them, may their memories be a blessing. I see that you also mentioned Marley and Allie and Pat, special Pats. So I want to say their name on your bar mitzvah. But there are a few other names we want to remember. We can't
list everyone, but we're thinking about everyone. But just most recently, from our community, we are remembering Lindsay Margulis and Judith Coleman, Greg Carlson and David Levin, Morton Wexler and Carol Katz, Jose Valesco and Jeffrey Watson, Joel Leon and Shirley Gershon, Mem Mafshin and Howard Handelman, Anthony Hikes and Virginia LaRocca, Orma Nitzan and Dr. Norton Cronemer, Donna Kitchen and Rudin and Sam Watson, and Jonathan Kletnick and Benjamin Katz. We are also remembering a number of people because this day and these next few days are the anniversaries of their having passed away, including Lisa Friedman and Lois Greenberg and Louis Lax, Gussie Parmit, Dick Schwartz, Diane Sokol, and Samuel Zal. We're remembering Gertrude Goran and Mary Hyman, Jewel Kurland and Lawrence Larson, as well as Charles Allen, Eli Bornstein, Dina Gold, Norman Goldman, Nancy Lampert, Rose Marcus, and Carolyn Goss. I'd like to give everyone at home the opportunity to say a name or that's Tipper. To say a name or two of people that you're remembering on this Shabbat, the Shabbat that Wes became Bar Mitzvah. Just a minute to, or a second really, to think of a name or to say the name out loud. And then I'm going to stand up in honor of all of the people we've named and all the people we're saying Kaddish for and all those we remember as we say these holy words at the end of our service on pages 27 and 28. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra kirotei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chaye echon v'yom echon v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, v'galau v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mivarach le'olam olmei olmaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitchomam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithale v'yithalal shemei d'kudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma ve'imru, amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, ve'imru, amen. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amen. Zikronam livracha. May all of their memories be a blessing, and somehow we know that their spirits were with us on this beautiful morning. Amen. And so, West, still more blessings because you deserve them, and because because Shabbat makes us want to linger and not rush through things. So we have a very special blessing from your parents, your mom and dad's turn to come up and give you their words of pride and blessing. So Matt and Natalie, come on up.
All right. I'm going to start. You can look at me. Okay. All right. Right here. You don't have to look at that. You can just look at me in my eyes like we usually do when we're trying to say something really important to you. We're like, look at me. All right, Wes. I'm going to read my paper too because I will get it all out this way. All right. I'm very proud of you today. And even though this Torah portion has been read and analyzed by millions of people before you today, you added your unique voice and perspective, and you reminded us that we will all struggle with life and relationships, and that we should look inward at those times and trust ourselves. And for 13 years, I have second-guessed myself many times. Like, should I allow you to have a cell phone or walk home from school by yourself or have a drum set in your room? But I can know I can trust myself, right? I know that you are building that trust in yourself each time you're challenged, like you were, especially over the last 9 months, and as you prepare to become bar mitzvah. So it's never easy, but as Dad would always tell you, that growth comes from challenges and from conflict, just like you talked about in your Devar. And in those times when you aren't sure you have the strength or trust in your own self, I want you to think of this moment today. There you go, breathe. And know that you have a large support net. Your dad and I, even Mira and Tova, Kona, and Leo, and also your best friends who, yes, are spending time on a Saturday morning watching and celebrating you. You know you can rely on your grandparents as they smile and hold you, and your Uncle Brian and Michelle, and Auntie Trish and Art, and all your cousins. You've been supported by Rabbi Randy and Rabbi Jim and Susan and Karen and Daniel and lots of others at CRC. And your teachers, your coaches, and ultimately the people you haven't met yet. Know that the support net that we all create is a web that is much larger than you realize and larger than you will ever require, just in case. So it is my blessing that you hold this special place, right, in your memories and your feelings. You remember this today when you need to pull it out when you need it, right? Even when you feel confident or when you wrestle, okay? Love you. Okay.
My turn. So I have imagined saying whatever I'm going to say to you hundreds and hundreds of times with all the services that we've been to and other bar mitzvahs we've seen. I imagined it being in the congregation, but we're here at home, and this is sort of our own sanctuary. It's the home that we've always lived in, it's the only home that we've all ever known together. We've stayed in the same house, so I'm glad that we're here. Like Rabbi Jim said, I want you to really listen, because these words really come absolutely from my heart, and I hope that they're received into yours. So West, when your mom and I learned we were going to be having our first child, I often asked, who is this person going to be? I knew parenting came with responsibilities and was going to be an emotional journey of the most human kind. Of the many things I didn't know or expect was how much I needed to learn from you. The quote on the picture frame in our house, where one of your baby pictures hangs, captures this sentiment. While we teach our children all about life, our children teach us what life is all about. You have consistently taught me, as stubborn as I am sometimes, what life is all about. You've always been drawn to the comedy of experiences, sharing your laughter and your relationships and bringing a lightness and joy to days that sometimes feel overly heavy and serious, especially during our current times. I admire your access to experiencing the fun of everyday life and want to follow your lead into the simple joys right in front of us. As you become a bar mitzvah, you begin your transition into adulthood, where laughter and fun become mixed with responsibility and the demands of your emerging independence. While I worry sometimes about what that transition is going to look like, witnessing you today reassures me that you are on the right path. Your words today express that path, your path. You spoke of choosing kindness over being right. This reflects your gentle soul, which I have had the privilege of watching grow throughout your 13 years. But kindness and a gentle nature doesn't necessarily mean passive. In fact, it's your assertiveness to call out hate and meanness in the world and in others that invites kindness and love to live and breathe. This aspect of who you already are was strengthened by your involvement with CRC. I thank all the teachers and tutors who helped you refine this quality, as I have benefited from it as well. On the most significant occasions when you and I have butted heads or gotten into arguments, you always embodied what it means to be kind. The courage and confidence you have in expressing your feelings makes me so proud of you. You also spoke of how second-guessing ourselves can be a kind of internal wrestling. I can think of no greater benefit to you becoming a bar mitzvah than the ways in which you learned and continue to learn how to wrestle with yourself. Being deeply engaged with what you think, what you know, what you don't know, or what you feel, what you want, what you're afraid of, what matters to you, who you are, and how you want to live. That's the stuff that makes your life truly yours. We know this process of becoming a bar mitzvah hasn't always been smooth. You are here now. You are a young man full of energy and armed with having successfully wrestled his way to this moment. Nothing can take that away, ever. My wish is for you to carry the lessons you've learned and taught us here today into the life that awaits you, a life both created and discovered by you. I so look forward to the learning and teaching to come.
So, tell you what, everybody come on back. How about if the whole crew, Mira and your parents, and if your grandparents want to come on over so we can kind of close with blessings. I want to let everyone know that our immediate past president, I know, Amy Gage, yesterday dropped off a challah that was made by CRC member Judy Glazer. You guys have that challah somewhere? That's another sign that there you go, that we're thinking about you. And how about a Kiddush cup somewhere? Got one of those?
Yes.
With some juice or wine? Yep, I knew you did. You guys are prepared. So we're gonna make blessings with the juice and with nice job, Mira. That looks good. And with the homemade challah that is for you to celebrate with this amazing bar mitzvah morning. And so first lift up that cup. Wes, you want to take a hold of there you go. All right, you got it, Natalie. And we're going to say the blessing for sweetness and for holiness. And you're going to drink it in just like we drank in all the sweetness and holiness watching you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen. And amen. Take a sip. L'chaim, to life. And then Mara, keep hold of that challah, and so that you can have a celebration and know that there's always enough to go around. We hope you enjoy that challah. We'll make a blessing of gratitude. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. And Wes, you want to take a bite of that challah? Because you've been doing all the work up there. While you're doing that, let me tell the family, Matt and Natalie and West, that listen for some celebration noises outside your house, because there might just be some a CRC parade out your front door to celebrate. We'll see, maybe. Just a prediction. And also, you see all your rabbis on the screen, and Rabbi Daniel, who's been working hard through this whole bar mitzvah, making sure that everything goes smoothly. And we all love you, and we're also proud of you. And so, as your parents put their arms around you, we're going to put our arms around you too from afar. There you go. Arms around West, arms around each other, arms around the world. I'm going to leave it to Rabbi Daniel and Rabbi Susan, Rabbi Karen, to give you this blessing.
Yivirechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. West and your whole amazing family, may this be a year of blessing. May we take a little bit of the blessing we felt from you, and God knows our whole world could use it. Rabbi Karen?
Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. And may we take some of this light that we have felt from you, and may we put it out into the world, and may we continue to choose kindness. Rabbi Susan.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May all that is good and high and holy continue to keep you safe, West, you and your family. and give you shalom. May the shalom, the peace in your home, continue to spread so that we can have a more peaceful world for you to grow up in. So may there be peace in your heart, your home, our communities, and God willing soon, more peace for all creation, because we have celebrated and learned from you today. Amen, and Shabbat Shalom, and Mazel Tov.
People are outside. They're outside.
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Amen, 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 amen.